Perfect. So, today's psychology insight, today's topic is self consciousness trap. Self consciousness trap. Why you perform worse when you keep watching yourself. Let's understand in simple words. The self consciousness trap happens when you become too mentally focused on yourself while performing an activity. Instead of being present in the task, your attention shifts towards how am I looking, what are people thinking, what if I fail, am I doing right? So you stop experiencing the moment and start monitoring yourself inside the moment. Now, why this topic is mind blowing? Because most people think over monitoring improves the performance, but psychology says excessive self awareness interrupts the natural performance. That's why public speaking becomes harder when nervous. Sports performance drops under pressure. Conversation feels awkward when overanalyzed. Confidence disappears when self monitoring increases. Because attention gets divided in two parts. One part is on the task and second part is on yourself. And the flow breaks. Let me give you some real life examples. Forgetting the words while speaking because you become self conscious. Acting unnatural in social situations. Third, overthinking while performing simple tasks. Feeling watched and suddenly becoming stiff. The problem is not inability, it is excessive self observation. Now, what we can do in situations, there is a practical shift, very powerful practical shift we can do. Shift attention outward. Instead of asking, how am I doing? Ask yourself, what am I trying to contribute right now? Very powerful question to yourself. What am I trying to contribute right now? Okay. Focus on activity, not your image inside the activity. Presence restores the performance. Okay, so this is the topic of the day, which is called self consciousness trap. Now, floor is open for any kind of question and sharing. Okay, my voice was breaking. Were you able to understand whatever I say, or should I repeat it again?
Your voice was clear.
Voice was clear. Okay. Okay.
Uh, just one doubt. So, it happens with both boys and girls, but I have seen it happening more with girls that they are continuously told by their parents or the mother-in-law that you are a woman, you have to live this way while working, you have to be like this while working. The self-consciousness is increased more in girls, but whether they are at a growing stage or after marriage, that you should always take a note of your tone, how you are sitting, how you are doing this and everything. Can this also be a reason why many women are unable to work peacefully in any environment because they have been trained to become too much self-conscious?
Yes, there can be multiple reasons. So whenever any girl or any boy, they have been asked so many times to stop the activity, to do it different way, or being told that you're not doing it right, you do not do it good, right? So they become more and more self-conscious in that situation. So this can be one of the reason. Yes, you're right. Yeah, thank you, Bakaji, for sharing this. Anyone else would like to add on? Please go ahead.
Uh, Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Definitely, I would like to add that this is true that a lot of intervention basically spoils your own talent, your own charm, your own charisma of performing anything. And unfortunately, we in India have this habit that let elders take up the role and guide the younger ones instead accepting how they want to do it. And this is very strong. And the another side of this situation is, I agree with whatever Barkha ji has said just now. It spoils the performance, but now a lot of leverage is also given to the youngsters. As a result, they are, they have forgotten their own track and are doing things which are not actually beneficial for them. So the disbalance has been created in the two situations, in the two performances. Now children are overconfident, maybe a girl or a boy, whosoever, and earlier they were underperformance. There was not having that sort of confidence. So this balance has to be maintained somehow. I agree that at many majority of times when lot of maybe child, or I'm talking in reference to the children, maybe they are thinking that by doing this role in a certain way will give a new style to their performance. But we are rigid. No, you have to perform this way only. I would like your suggestion on this disbalance which is being created at present. Well, it has started up, not totally created, but it has started up, which I may see with children. I would like your suggestion on this.
Yeah, sure, sure. So your question is that you're saying that youngsters are also taking leverage of it,
Yes,
and they
absolutely.
themselves are, you know, becoming more and more self-conscious, right?
Right.
Okay, 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 okay. Great, very nice. Good observation. Good question. Very good question.
You.
So I would like to share two things here. One is, okay. So anybody would like to add on? Please go ahead, Mr. Anand. If you want to share, you have raised your hand. Please go ahead. Then I'll
Yeah,
add to it.
good morning, sir. First, good morning to everyone. First, just my video is been closed by host. I can't understand. So, okay. And another, now we come to the topic. This is where when yes, it is very obvious when going into the self while doing something, self becoming a self cautious, because it is the most of the time. It is most of the time self doubt makes it so. Or I can say self doubt compels it to be inhibited in self, and that affects a performance, that affects your performance or your task. It is what I mean to say, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. Perfect. Thank you so much for adding. So there are two things that we need to take care. One is one should learn the feedback skill. Okay. It is obvious that people make mistake. It is obvious, right? But how we are telling them makes a lot of difference. The feedback thing. Generally, the worst feedback is you directly criticizing the person for the task, right? But feedback skill says that that person also has very great things in them, right? There is a concept of feedback uh, by the sandwich loop feedback, in which first you appreciate the person, then tell what to improve, and then appreciate the person again. So the person take it the feedback positively. It does not make them more and more conscious in a negative way, but in a positive way they become aware then. Second thing is, we also need to teach children the boundaries, what are acceptable and why, and what are the things which are not acceptable and why, what is the reason of it. Once they understand it, they understand the boundaries, okay, then their action, their task, their things are more aligned and more appropriate. Does this add on, does this make any sense to you, Monica ji?
Yes, definitely. You are right that that feedback is really very important thing which you have explained how to take it. But my, in your second opinion, there is one question again in my, according to me, that parents also don't explain about the boundaries. This is again the situation which is inculcated in our DNA. at least in India, that they don't want, we have said to it. I'm talking in general, I'm not talking in particular.
That's why more and more awareness is needed of these things: psychological boundaries, emotional safety, self awareness, mental health,
Empathy.
lifestyle, empathy, yes, listening, active listening. So these are the life skills that everybody should learn.
But what about the rigidity which because of which they don't want to go to the psychologist? This is there. I just happened to had one matter, and the boy is not wrong, but he's rigid not to go, and because of that, they are going to take wrong decision. This I know. Their marriage will break because of this. The rigid attitude which is inculcated in a child from since childhood is very difficult to break. There is, I don't know, means आप कहते हैं ना वो घोड़े को पानी तक कैसे ले जाओगे? पीना तो बात की बात है.
Very nice, very good question. Very nice. So this question should be open for everyone to answer. The question is how to deal with the rigid attitude that when person not even want to go for the solution.
Sir, I can say in this very small or very simple thing in our day-to-day life or in a family, within a family. हम बहुत जल्दी कुछ गलत बच्चे से या किसी से कुछ गलत हो जाए तो तुरंत तपाक से कह देते हैं पागल हो गया है। अब जो है आज से 40 साल पहले पागल और साइकोलॉजी में बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस था। About the awareness, as you said, awareness is very important of self, of your family, of your around environment. That's what awareness is a very important thing. लेकिन आज से 40 साल पहले बच्चा अब अगर उसको हम कहते हैं कि यार थोड़ा समथिंग एबनॉर्मल इज देयर, तो कुछ भी डिजायर्ड के अनवांटेड एक्शन अगर हो गया है अनडिजायरेबल, तो हम उसे कह देते हैं ये तो पागल हो गया। तो इसलिए शायद लोग इन अवॉइड करते हैं टू avoid that stigma, that tag of he went to the psychology because he did something wrong or undesirable. I guess this is because the reason, a very root cause, sir.
Okay. So the question is what to do of this rigidity. Thank you so much, Mr. Anand, for adding on. Anybody else would like to add on to this or share something? Yes, please go ahead.
For rigidity, I found there's one technique. I am not sure whether it will be solvable for everyone. But the thing is, when you sit and talk with them, first give them the worst case scenario. What will happen? You are trying to explain that your behavior is creating issue. Give them the worst case scenario. Then slowly reduce the scenario to the least worst scenario. This helps the person, the rigid person, to know that what are all the situations. And the worst case, this actually helps many people to understand that, hey, it's better not to do this thing.
Okay. So you're saying that first tell them that what worst will happen if you try this, right? Okay. This can be one of the strategy. Anybody else would like to add on? Okay, so in this situation, psychology says that first you need to build the rapport with the person. If your rapport is not there, if you're asking somebody to do something, it is difficult for them, right? So how to build the rapport even without having the counseling session? The good thing is, because you are having the conversation, in the conversation itself, you can apply the strategy of building the rapport. Now, how to do that? Okay, so the strategy of building the rapport is, it says first you need to understand and accept and appreciate their point of view, whatever they are thinking. Okay, they can think like that, no problem. If they do not want to go to counselor, no problem. They can think like that. This kind of thinking exists. We need to accept and we need to appreciate also that you are openly telling it, right? And then listen to the person carefully. Why they think like that? Ask questions. Third thing is ask questions. How they got this belief that they should not go to a counselor and psychologist. Okay, ask question around it. Slowly you will find when the questioning is happening, they themselves will realize, okay, this belief system is not appropriate. The root is not making sense. Let's change it. Let's give it a try.
Okay. I agree with your this questionnaire style of probing somebody. Yes. See, basically linked with the question, with the uh, concern raised by Barkha. It's see that loop has come over here. Acha, uh, I agree with this questionnaire and I really appreciate this for the reason because it will give us a scope to enter into further how to frame different questions means you would suggest that the questionnaire should be prepared for every situation beforehand or should it be done with the time itself. Of course few addition will be there with the time itself, but do you suggest that some format should be prepared beforehand, rough format?
Very nice. Now you're going deep into it, which is really good. Okay. So, to remember it simply, what you can do is what, who, when, where, and how. Okay. Why is something that you want to change? Why is the belief that you want to change? So, before reaching to the why, ask, create some questions on what, who, when, where, and how. Okay, related to that topic. So, it will come by practice because questioning is a skill. The more you will practice, the more you will be able to build strong questions by yourself. Very impactful, powerful, to the point questions. Initially, it will happen like your questions are out of the scenario. It will happen like that. It's a practice time. So, but slowly, you will be able to do that. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for going little deep into it. Thank you.